Hello guys and welcome back to a super spooky episode of Big Brother. I would edit in Thunder here, but I can't be bothered. But thank you guys for watching the episode. We're gonna talk all things exit and secret eviction. I say secret eviction, it wasn't much for secret. It was a secret to us until we saw it because they didn't bother doing it live, which I don't know how I feel about them not doing it live. On one hand, I'm like, I like the suspense and sitting there all day waiting, going, oh, I wonder who's going home. But then the other part of me is like, well, they're meant to be live evictions, so why aren't they live? I just feel like it's a little bit of a waste of time, but it is what it is. Not really much you can do. But anyway, let's jump into the episode. Make sure to like, make sure to comment, make sure to subscribe, and let us jump straight in. Ooh. So, on day one of Hallow Week, we had a Jocks and Cheerleaders theme. We were at Camp Big Brother, and I gotta say, it was a very interesting start to the week. It's nice that they're doing like different themes every single day. It felt like Halloween was kind of like a 2-day affair last week, whereas last year even. But this year it feels like they're really dragging it out for a whole week, and I think that's really good. I like the fact that they're dressing up every day. It's giving good vibes. Today we had like a Necronomicon looking thing that basically had them doing different tasks around the room. Martha and Sarah had to dance around the fire. Thomas and Khaled had to down some gruel. Emma had to do a cheerleading routine for Marcello, which was actually hysterical. Then she had Nathan doing some howling. And then this is where it got a little bit awkward because Nathan chose Ali to go into like a deep trance. And Ali literally just went, then went into the trance. I was like, oh, she's acting. Interesting. Very, very fun, very exciting. And Nathan chose Martha as the person to pour blood over, removing her from the race for head of household. I didn't expect it. I didn't see it coming. And Martha was genuinely shocked. She was like, I wanted to be head of household. Aww. Boo-hoo. Sad times, Martha. What are you going to do? Cry about it? No, I'm joking. She's lovely. But either way, I did think this was a very cool, nice start to the episode. So next up, we had two separate instances that got rid of people in the running for head of household. We had hunting for the amulets and then the crow. We'll talk about the amulets first. Apparently amulets were hidden around the Big Brother house and they had to find 6 of them. The 6 people that found them were Sarah, Lily, Marcello, Shegan, Emma, and Baked Potato. And they could choose 2 out of the remaining the people on the couch to take with them and give 2 amulets to. They chose Thomas and Nathan. Very interesting choices. Hannah was pissed off. She was not happy that they didn't choose her. I think secretly because she wanted to be head of household and potentially get rid of some of her ops. But it is what it is. She didn't get chosen, so she was taken out of the head of household race. They all had blood poured over them, which was kind of funny. But I was also sat there like, they're just sitting around with the blood on them. And I'm like, this is uncomfortable. I would be like, I want to get in the shower. I'm not sitting around with blood dried on me. Like, go, no, please, no. But anyway, the next thing was that Dean and Baked Potato were called over by a crow in the garden. And it turned out that only one of them could speak to the crow. So Dean chose to. And he could secretly remove 2 people from the running. And he chose Shegan and Marcello. And they were not happy about it. Or Shegan didn't really care that much. But Marcello, there are rats among us. I was like, bro, it's really not that deep. Just get over it. It's bloody head of household. Get a grip, good sir. So next up, we have the final head of household thing, and then we're going to talk about killer nominations. So the final head of household challenge was essentially pick a torch, the one that turns on, that person is head of household. That person turned out to be Emma. I was actually like, ooh, okay. Emma being head of household opens up a lot of doors for very interesting avenues to explore. I was interested to see who she would pick as her 4 killer nominations. And for the most part, I thought she did a good job. I was on board with her choosing Martha. I was like, that's a smart choice. Martha's caused a lot of aggro in the house. You were on the opposing side of her in the argument, so it makes sense for you to nominate her. It also gives us an easy out in case someone that we like is up for eviction as well. Then we had Thomas. And I was thinking, Thomas, that's an interesting one. Because do I want Thomas to go over Martha? Kind of. Just because Thomas is an incredibly boring individual, and I don't think he's actually given us anything this series worthy of being in the house. Like, every single other person in the house has given us good moments. Even Chegan, like, who I've ripped on many times for being a bit boring. He's had some good moments. Like, he's given us some funny moments. But Thomas has just done none of that. And it's really, really sad. Like, I forget he's there 95% of the time. I'm always like, who is the extra, like, 13th housemate? Oh, it's Thomas. Oh, sorry, mate. I just forgot who you were. So, obviously, I was like, that was a good choice. Then we had Khaled. And I was like, ooh, I did not expect her to choose Khaled there. And the reason that she gave was because she feels like he is too aware of the cameras. And I was like, interesting. She's starting to understand exactly where Ali is coming from. And I was like, okay, this is an interesting development. Cool. Brilliant. Right. And then she was like, right, my final two is going to be between Hannah and Lily. And I was like, okay, Ali's safe. Thank God for that. Okay, I can breathe. Because, like, as much as I do like both Lily and Hannah, I do feel like I'm happy with either of them going. I like, it's not the end of the world. Or I'm happy for them being up for a nomination. Not necessarily happy for them to go, but like, I'm happy for them to be up for nomination. And then she went with Ali, and I was like, what's she doing? What is she doing? Because she's too quick to judge. She's judge checking too quickly because apparently her family love her. Oh my God, I cannot believe that the mistranslated phone call has just been taken out of context and now it's put her up for eviction. I was literally sitting there like, no, surely not. No way. This hasn't happened. Nah. Now you're joking. You're taking the piss, right? You're joking. You're having me on. No. Ali was up for eviction. And it seemed like Ali was put up for eviction for the exact same reason that she put up Khaled for a nomination. Like, she judged Khaled too quickly, and then she realised, oh, actually, that might not be the case. But then she's put Ali up for judging Shekin too quickly, and now she's up for nomination. I'm like, huh? This doesn't make sense. But it is what it is. I just had to have faith that Ali would stay, and she did. So before we move on to the second episode and talk about their Halloween outfits, I want to talk about the Hannah and Ali conversation that was had. I thought this was a very interesting moment because we saw that Hannah was having a little bit of a tough time. She was struggling a little bit with, I don't know, just being in the house, feeling isolated from all the girls. And it seemed like none of the boys were really paying attention to the fact that she was very visibly upset. The only one that did was Ali. And you could come out with some cynical bullshit about the fact that she's trying to work Hannah. She's trying to get Hannah on side. I don't think it's as malicious as that. I think she just went upstairs with Hannah and just let Hannah talk and then just gave her some advice. And I think it was nothing malicious in the slightest, but I think this is a positive step in the right direction towards a reconciled house. And I think that's a good thing, personally. I don't know why people are trying to make it out to be a bad thing. I just think it's a very sweet, nice moment between the two of them. Hannah was obviously opening up about how she feels isolated, and Ali was like, I feel that too, to an extent, to be fair. And listen, if you're not about the high energy antics at nighttime, come find me. We'll go somewhere chill. We'll have a chat. We'll just exist with each other, because I'm not always on that as well. I know you are sometimes. I know I am sometimes. But like, sometimes it's just nice to chill. And I actually appreciated that from Ali. I appreciated Hannah being open and vulnerable. I think I've been quite hard on her over the last week. I've not really enjoyed her. But seeing this kind of softer, more vulnerable side of her has really helped me to actually like her a little bit more. Because I was like, there's this tough exterior, but there seems to be nothing below it. Now I've seen it, I'm satisfied. And there was actually a really funny segment in the next episode where they were talking about like baby pony, like they were talking about ponies, and she was like, oh, is a pony like a baby horse? And Annie was like, no, they're just different animals. And then they were talking about how they can like crossbreed, and I was like, this is the most wild and weird conversation, but I'm kind of living for it, and it's kind of funny at the end of the day. So we're gonna talk Halloween outfits, and I gotta say, for the most part, the outfits were quite good. A lot better than last year, as far as I remember them. They were, last year was a little bit shit. But we had Dean as Frankenstein. That was quite a good costume. Ali as the Red Witch was blissful. It was genuinely like the pinnacle of hilarity, because I was like, what do you mean she's dressed up as a Red Witch, which is what she was called by Marcello and Chegan. Hilarious. Sarah was a jester. I thought that outfit was actually kind of cool. Baked Potato was a sea creature. I think she was the creature from the Black Lagoon, which I was like, okay, that's cool, but she looks very glamorous in that outfit. And I was like, it's not really giving what you want it to give. Khaled? I don't know what he was. Was he like a ghost? Or was he the Mad Hatter? I could not work it out. I was really struggling with him. I was not sure whether he was like, you know how like the Mad Hatter has like white variants of him where he's wearing like an all white suit, he's got white hair, he's got a white top hat. I've seen that a couple of times on like line when I've been looking for Mad Hatter costumes, not just the Johnny Depp version. So I wasn't sure whether that was what that was. Martha was a spider. I thought that was quite a funny outfit actually. Chegan was a knight. That was a disappointing one. I expected something more interesting and scary, honestly, for Chegan. Marcello, he was a werewolf. I was like, okay. Emma was like a bad angel, like a fallen angel or something like that. I saw someone put that on Twitter and I was like, oh, okay, sure. Then Nathan was just a headless guy. It was kind of funny, but I think the outfit was just a bit shit. It wasn't the best, but it is what it is. Lily was a pop girl. I couldn't work out what she was, but it looked like she was like a pop star. Like, you know how you get those like kid bops people? I don't know. It was just a bit shit. I wanted her to be like, oh, a vampire, blah, blah, blah. And then she could do like a blah, blah, blah impression all day long. I feel like that would have been really funny. Then we had Thomas as a devil with wings. And I was like, okay. And then we had Hannah as a mummy. And Hannah kind of slayed the mummy outfit. I wish she'd have gone like as overboard as Kerry did last year. But like, she was a sexy mummy. It was chill. It was fine. I thought the outfits this year were very entertaining. The best one had to be the Red Witch outfit. Whoever in production decided that that was going to be her Halloween costume, brilliant. I'm so glad you made that choice. So it's time to play Trick or Treat, and in fours the housemates were brought out to the garden and the evil head of household, Emma, decided which place each of the housemates went under, and one of them received a treat. No, three of them received treats and one of them received a trick. Yes. Although beforehand, Emma was going around with this tray of chocolate apples. Although some of them were apples, some of them were chocolate onions, which was hilarious to watch. Some people bite into chocolate onions. But the trick or treats. So the first group of people was Baked Potato, Nathan, Dean, and Lily. And one by one, like, they would be revealed to be a treat, and then Lily ended up getting gunked at the end. Baked Potato was so funny in this because she was like, I don't want to get gunked. No. She was like screaming and like, the entire time. It was so funny. It was so entertaining. I rated it. I thought it was really entertaining. So honestly, big claps to you. Big claps to you, I can't lie. The next group consisted of Chegan, Marcello, Sarah, and Hannah. And Marcello was actually the one that got dunked or gunked or whatever. And I thought that was actually really funny as well. Although he entirely missed him. It's like he stepped forward and missed it. If I was Big Brother, I'd have been like, get back in there and we're going to gunk you again properly. You don't get out this lightly, Marcello. I'm not having it. I'm not having it at all. So it's probably time to talk about the eviction. Again, I'm not sure how I feel about it not being live. I feel like they very easily could have done it live at the end of Big Brother Late and Live. Just give me a reason to watch the sideshow, because currently I'm not enjoying Will and AJ's hosting of it. It feels very biased towards certain housemates. It feels a bit toxic at times. I just don't like the vibe of it this series. I enjoyed it for like the first 2 weeks, and then it's almost like they're letting Marcello's shit slide, but every time Ali does something minutely wrong, it's like, oh, let's focus in on that and let's really rip her apart. It's like just unfair. It's just a very toxic environment, it seems, and I'm not a part of that. But the eviction was done quite well, actually. It was quite tense. It was quite exciting. Khaled was the first one to be revealed to be safe, which was like, ooh, okay, my heart can rest a little bit. Surely it's not going to be Ali. Surely it's not going to be Ali. And then Ali was revealed to be safe, and I was like, oh my God, thank God. I literally don't care how this ends now, because Ali's safe. I'm happy. She could slay another day. Let's go. And then it turns out Martha was the one to be evicted, which I was okay with, actually. I was kind of fine with Martha being the one to go. I don't know whether it would have been better to take Thomas out. Thomas has been complaining a fuck ton recently of just like, oh, I'm so bored. Like, I don't want to have conversations with people in the house. Oh, I hate this head of household shit. Like, it's so, like, ridiculously stupid. I'm just like, bro, you signed up for this show. Just enjoy it. I would love to be in your position right now, but clearly they saw something in you that was better than most of the other people in the UK, which I actually don't get. Why are you here? Because you're the most miserably boring person I know. But regardless, Martha was the evicted person, and very sadly we did lose her. But not all is lost. We have a lot of interesting things to talk about in the next couple of episodes because we're gearing up for another eviction on Friday. So if one wasn't enough for you this week, you're going to get your taste of blood again on Friday. Make sure to tune in on Saturday for the recap. But until then, make sure to keep on ranting and I'll see you guys later. Bye now.